Hey guys, so remember your pre-calc days where you had to solve systems of equations by hand? Well, not anymore. So in the next couple of videos, I'll be showing you guys how you can solve a system of linear equations using 3 different methods in MATLAB. So the first method, I'll be solving a system of equations using the inverse matrix technique. And I mean, even to me, this sounds like a mouthful, but it's not really that hard. In fact, it's probably one of the easier methods. So to my right, as you can see, I've got a system of equations that I'm trying to solve. And now the solutions are given below, but I want to see if I can verify my results with MATLAB. So the goal here is to create 2 separate matrices and take the inverse of the matrix with my variables in it, okay? And that's typically going to be your left side matrix. All right, so I'm going to picture this whole thing as a matrix. And then I'm also going to picture this whole thing to my right as a matrix, okay? And the goal here is I'm going to take the inverse of my matrix with my variables in it, and then I'm going to multiply this to my matrix without any variables in it, okay? So I'm going to call this matrix matrix A, and then I'm going to call this one matrix B. And the goal here is I'm going to take the inverse of matrix A times matrix B. And this is going to solve my system. All right. Now, all I got to do is I got to input this matrix into MATLAB, and then I'm going to do the same thing for my matrix B. Okay. So if I go to my command window here, I'm going to have A equals open bracket. Now, if you look, this is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So I'm going to have 6, 2, and one more thing. So I'm completely, when I'm inputting my matrix into MATLAB, I'm not worried about my variables, okay? I'm only going to input my numbers that are attached to my variables. So I'm going to have 6, 2, semicolon, which basically initiates the second row. And then I'm going to have 7, 4, close bracket. And if I press enter, there you go. We can see that we got 6, 2, and then 7, 4, and it basically matches the format that we're given for our equation. And for matrix B, I'm going to have B equals open bracket, and then I'm going to have -6. And then to go to the next row, I'm going to use a semicolon and then 8. And then if I hit enter, perfect. I've got -6 and 8. All right, the last step, we're 90% there. To solve my system, I'm going to take the inverse of matrix A. So that's going to be A raised to the power of -1 and then times B for my matrix B. And there you go. I've got -4 and 9 as my solutions. So you may be asking me now, which one is my X and which one is my Y? And that's a really good question. So the MATLAB always gives you your answers your variables in the format that it was given to you. So if you started with a 6x here, that -4 is going to be your x, okay? If you had a 6y here, that -4 would have been your y. But since you have xy, it's always going to be -4, 9, which is going to be your x and your y, okay? So I hope this makes sense. I'm going to clarify this one more time. If you want to know which one is your x and which one is your y, take a look at your equation. If your x came first, if this is a 6x, all right, the answer, the first one that you have here, that -4 is going to be your x. And the second one is always going to be your y, okay? And I'm also going to make a video where I'm going to talk about systems of equations with 3 different unknowns, okay? But I mean, it's pretty much going to follow the same procedure. But for now, that's going to be it for this video, okay? And I've got a little cheat sheet here for you. So all you got to do is take your linear equation and turn it into a matrix, which we did. And then you're going to define your left side of equation as A. I mean, you could call it Z or whatever. It's not really going to make a big difference. And then your right side is B, which we did. And then I'm going to use the inverse method, which is going to take the inverse of the matrix with my variables in it. And I'm going to multiply this by my second matrix without any variables in it. And there is your answer, and your x and y's are going to be in the order of your variables. Okay, so if x came first, the first one's going to be your x, and the second one's going to be your y. I'm out of breath. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this video. If it helped you, please give me a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and stop buying toilet papers.